In today's news, WALWYN, TURNBULL, and Ametha join forces to unite opposition. Trio reveals plans to engage other opposition members. WALWYN criticizes unfinished road projects within the territory as well as maintenance. Initiative aims to strengthen public engagement. VI Creative Director and Stylist vows to provide support. All 64 passengers on board AA flight feared dead. St. Kitts police say vessel believed to be from West Africa. We have the details of this and much more, all on the local, regional, as well as international scene. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
Just give me my service.
Yeah. Just give me my service.
Just give me my service.
Make the switch to CCT and get connected today. Unlimited talk, text, and data. Visit any CCT store or call us at 444-4444. CCT, Life Unlimited.
He hit me. Will CG cover this?
Don't worry. Remember when I was in that competitive arm wrestling circuit? 3-time champion, baby. I did feel bad crushing all those arms and dreams. So I took them all out for ice cream. And then we got crushed. Anyway, CG handled my claims fast.
That explains the arm.
The best cover for the best value. CG Insurance. Good like that.
Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of 284 News. It is Thursday, January 30th, 2025. I'm Ron Grant, bringing you the very latest out of Tortola in the Virgin Islands. A happy Thursday's wish to each and every one of you. Thank you all so much for joining us. Beginning our newscast, the Honorable Myron V. WALWYN, Honorable Melvin Mitch Turnbull, and the Honorable Stacey Mathar have announced the formation of a new alliance within His Majesty's loyal opposition. The revelation came during an impromptu press conference on Thursday, signaling a potential shift in the opposition's structure. Despite the formation at this alliance, at-large representative the Honorable Ronnie W. Skelton will remain in his role as leader of the opposition. Skelton assumed the position after securing the majority in His Majesty's loyal opposition under his Progressive Virgin Islands Movement Party following the 2023 elections. It has not yet been revealed whether he or other opposition members will be joining the alliance. WALWYN noted that the move signals the biggest step and the most progress that opposition collectively has made in 7 years to unite for the BVI betterment.
We have spoken to the leaders of both parties, Honorable Skelton and Honorable Penn, and they are aware of the plans that we are taking to move the Virgin Islands forward through this alliance. And while they may not be with us here right now, we know that they are of the view that we need to pull the parties together, even though there might be varying positions on how this should be done. Despite this, Honorable Turnbull, Honorable Mathar, and I have an obligation to our constituents who have been saying that there needs to be a unification of our efforts. And we have decided at this level to begin the process, and we encourage other members of the opposition to join us.
Honorable Turnbull noted that the alliance is not just about the upcoming general elections. He said it is about setting the foundation for proactive and progressive governance that will withstand the test of times and generations to come.
It is not about holding on to power, political gain. It's about service, about humility, about unity. It's about ensuring that the Virgin Islands receives leadership so that it is ensuring that the Virgin Islands receives leadership that it so desperately deserves. According to Mark 3:25, it reminds us that a house divided amongst itself cannot stand, and we have witnessed it. This alliance is built on shared vision for the people of the future of this territory. Together, Honorable WALWYN, Honorable Mathar, and I believe in the values that truly matter: social equity, economic diversification, inclusivity, integrity, community engagement, empowerment, and education. These are not just words. They are the principles we fight for every single day on behalf of all Virgin Islands and people of the territory.
Meanwhile, Honorable Mathar emphasized the importance of the alliance, noting that it fosters a much more stronger opposition which would better serve residents within the territory.
We remain steadfast that education remains the cornerstone of our progress. It empowers us to learn from past lessons and guide our youth, who are the voices of our communities today. The voices of our youth are crucial now more than ever. They must be guided by those who have learned valuable lessons and are committed to their development. We believe in open dialogue with like-minded individuals to develop and implement policies that advance our education and social systems. This includes focusing on various learning needs and making education more accessible and relevant to our economy.
The opposition has undergone significant changes since the last election. Initially composed of 3 political parties, it saw a reshuffling when 3rd District Representative, the Honorable Julian Fraser R.A., crossed the floor after the dismissal of former Deputy Premier, the Honorable Lorna G. Smith, OBE. PVIM currently includes 2nd District Representative, the Honorable Melvin Mitch Turnbull, and at-large Representative and Deputy Speaker, the Honorable Stacey Mathar. Meanwhile, the National Democratic Party is represented by 8th District Representative, the Honorable Marlon A. Penn, as leader, and 6th District Representative, the Honorable Myron V. WALWYN. Honorable Lorna G. Smith, who was once affiliated with the NDP prior to joining forces with the Dr. Natalio D. Wheatley-led administration, is said to be independent. The implications of this new alliance for the balance of power in the opposition and its overall impact on governance in the British Virgin Islands remains to be seen. 3 members of His Majesty's loyal opposition, the Honorable Myron V. WALWYN and the Honorable Melvin Mitch Turnbull, along with the Honorable Stacey Mathar, as mentioned before, addressed the public today during a press conference, clarifying the absence of their 3 fellow opposition colleagues. Now, when questioned viewers about the missing members, the trio stated that discussions are ongoing and that outreach efforts have been made.
As all of us articulated in our remarks, we had individual and collective discussions on the matter with the other leaders of the other members of the opposition. It is for them to join when they're ready. We agree on one fundamental thing, that we have to come together to be a more viable force for the general elections and offer a better alternative to the people of the country. We may differ in the way we get there, but we continue to talk. I have the utmost respect for all the members of the opposition, the ones who are not here, and we will continue to engage with them, hoping that we all can get on the same page and do what is best for the country.
Honorable Turnbull, who represents the 2nd District, confirmed that he has personally reached out to both Honorable Marlon A. Penn and opposition leader, the Honorable Ronnie W. Skelton, who happens to be the leader of the PVIM, to discuss the new political alignment with the opposition. He reassured the public that conversations will continue in an effort to solidify cooperation among all opposition members.
The conversation will continue. It is not something that we're doing in of ourselves. It is something that we're doing in response to a growing need, a growing call for unification within the opposition. It is something that, as Honorable WALWYN said, though preferences may differ, the principle is that we ought to unite. We've heard from members of the NDP side, Honorable Penn. We've heard from Honorable Rollin Skelton, who says they agree in putting this thing back together. The how for them, I think, that's where there's some challenges, but the conversations will continue. The conversations are ongoing. Honorable Lorna Smith and all the other members of the opposition, including some of the government members, we're looking for anybody who's willing to be a part of this alliance, who are strong enough to stand up for the needs and the rights of the people of the Virgin Islands. So we are not running away from anything. We are joining forces because we believe this is the right approach, and conversations will continue because we are here to serve and meet and speak with everyone.
At-large Representative, the Honorable Stacey Mathar, who received the highest number of votes in the 2023 general elections, also made it clear that the alliance remains open to all members of the opposition, signaling an invitation for further collaboration.
I would like to add or say that I have individually spoken to the members of the opposition, and as I said in my remarks, from just after the elections in 2023, I began conversations with Honorable Penn. I also have had conversations with Honorable Skelton ongoing up until this week. I've also had conversations with Honorable Smith. In theory, we all agree that the country deserves a coming together of the political parties. However, as my colleagues have said, there's a differing of opinion as to how it may be done, how it should be done, and we can respect that as individuals. There will be differing opinions, but the door is open. They just have to walk through and talk.
Up next, viewers, we have much more on the local scene. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
Start the year off with more. More speed, more downloading, more savings, and more fire. CCT Fire Fiber Internet gives you the speed you need to keep the whole family connected. Packages starting at $119 with speeds from 300 megabytes per second. Super fast, unlimited downloads, even more reliable connectivity, plus free live streaming TV for the family to enjoy. Sign up for the absolute best fiber internet service in the BVI CCT Fire and pay no installation fee. Plus, get CCT Live TV for free. You deserve more. Get more with CCT. Life Unlimited.
Yo, everything good, Dad?
Bye. This thing got me one way, Daddy.
What do you mean?
Ever since I hook up with this thing, can't eat, I can't sleep. This is the first thing I touch it when I reach home.
What do you mean? Hey, this ain't like you, know?
Dad, this thing got me staying home, keeping out of trouble me.
Wow. What your name is?
Shit. I talking about my CCT life.
Don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Come to CCT today and sign up for CCT Live to access over 80 channels. CCT Live. Bring it home.
1 month free trial turn into 5. 5 months turn into, well, you know I watching ball. I've been watching football. Dad, Nickelodeon, Paw Patrol. I am hooked. I tell you.
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you so much for sticking with us. Moving right along, 6th District Representative, the Honorable Myron B. WALWYN, has criticized the British Virgin Islands government's handling of infrastructure projects, particularly questioning the management of unfinished roadworks across the territory. If the government has a plan to fix the roads, they are certainly doing a great job at hiding it, he said. WALWYN pointing out the incomplete and road projects initiated during the final quarter of 2024. He specifically highlighted the unfinished roadwork between Manchester and Bellevue as an example of poor planning.
The terrible road infrastructure in the territory continues to prevail. I am yet to see the wisdom in digging up roads all over the territory all at once, with insufficient action to follow to fix them. If the government has a plan to fix the road infrastructure, they are certainly doing a great job at hiding it. The road between Manchester and Bellevue was dug up to place pipes and have remained in an almost impassable state for weeks. I inquired from the government about this matter and I was told that the work to resurface the road would have started last Saturday. To date, no work has started and no new reliable update has been given.
The former minister expressed particular concern about the territory's appearance during the current tourism season, citing issues with derelict vehicles and overgrown vegetation. WALWYN described the government's approach to territorial maintenance as, and I quote, lackluster.
Derelict vehicles and overgrown bushes continue to be the order of the day in the territory. We are in the heart of the tourist season and we have not found a proper way to address these issues. This lackluster approach to the cleanliness of our country cannot be allowed to continue.
His comments come as the community continues to grapple with various infrastructure challenges affecting both residents and visitors across the territory. During the first press conference for 2025, Acting Commissioner of Police Jacqueline Vantaboo proudly highlighted a community-focused initiative to foster stronger connections between the police and the public. Members of the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force's senior management, along with police constables and auxiliary officers, have been actively patrolling the streets, greeting members of the public, engaging with tourists, and connecting with business owners. This initiative, which began in December of 2024, underscores the force's commitment to community policing. While describing and dedicated, these auxiliary constables are said to be dedicated to conducting regular patrols within. Members of the senior management also will be joining them at scheduled times to show their support and personally engage with the community. The patrols have already received positive feedback, with officers providing a visible, approachable presence and ensuring residents and visitors alike feel safe and supported. The initiative has no fixed end date and is expected to continue for an undetermined period as the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force remains dedicated to promoting public safety and community partnership. In a recent interview headlining Season 7 of The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, renowned Virgin Islands creative director and stylist Travis Walters, known as Travi Rose, spoke about his journey in his professional career as he is now making significant waves on the international scene.
So I feel like creatively, I've always been into it. A lot of people know me from doing music. I May Never Find, that song plays every weekend. So I've heard. And it started as wanting to be an artist at first, but then slowly over time, I realized that the long studio sessions, writing the songs just wasn't really my thing. It was more so the creative aspect of it, the wardrobe, the hair, the makeup, all the things that bring the performance and that artist to life. So when I went to Georgia for school, because I decided I didn't want to do music anymore, I was introduced to the term creative director, which I did not know existed before. I didn't even know what a stylist was. You know, I just thought dressing my friends every weekend was just something that you did. I didn't know you could get paid for it, you know? So, I moved to Georgia, was doing school. And while I was doing school, I ran into some people by way of like a social club and was introduced to those two terms, and I fell in love instantly.
Walter spoke directly to VI dreamers and encouraged up-and-coming creatives to never allow small island mentalities to limit their potential. Instead, he advised them to dream big.
So the first thing I would definitely say, because you just said the word, never make it about money. Ever. Anything creative, never make it about money. It's not a 9-to-5. It's something that you are put on this earth to do, if you feel it in your spirit, right? So back to what I said before, put God first in everything that you do and let the chips fall where they may. Follow his steps, and it may not, you might be in that season or in a specific season where it doesn't look like what you imagined or what you hoped for, but things come full circle.
Yep.
And the dots do align. I feel like you asked me this question maybe like 5 years ago, I wouldn't have the same confidence in myself or in my abilities or even in the things that I'm doing right now, right? But over time, I've just learned to trust him and just follow where his footsteps go, and it just leads you to really great places.
As someone who has seen a heavy influence in social media, Walter spoke on the importance and impact of social media on young professionals and the need to separate all of it from reality.
I've worked with a lot of influencers, and it's no disrespect or shade to the influencers at all, but their life is just not what it's cracked up to be. They're human just like all of us, right? And social media has just glorified their life in a way that dehumanizes them.
Yes.
And it's not fair to them either, right? But at least they're getting the perks. The people on the receiving or the watching end or behind the screen, you're wasting your life looking at somebody who is living their life, right? And I don't feel like that's fair. You should tap into what is important to you. Now, am I against social media? Not at all. I need it to do what I need to do.
Of course.
Right? Use it as a tool to get where it is that you want to be. But you have to also make sure that your real life, you're happy in your real life, you know? And a lot of people I've witnessed and I've realized they're not happy in their real life. But on social media, you think that they are. So yeah, it's just my hope. That's something that I definitely, it hurts me.
He spoke about his desire to contribute significantly towards the creative culture and fabric of the VI community in helping to mold and create opportunities for other creatives like himself.
I would love to emphasize the creative space in the Virgin Islands. Kyra's doing a great job at that right now.
Exceptional, yes.
Amazing job. She is a trailblazer in terms of that. But I would love to emphasize it more in a way that I can as it relates to, there's a lot of talented photographers that are just not able to book the jobs that they should be booking based on their skill level because they don't know how to, or maybe don't have access to. So like I said before, I feel like what I'm doing right now is not really about me. It's about the people that will come after me. And that's why it's important for me to create a great name, not only for myself, but for Virgin Islanders everywhere when I'm in those spaces.
I agree.
And create a bridge. So it's like, hey, you might not be able to book me for this job, but I know an amazing other stylist or another amazing creative director that's from the Virgin Islands that has the same flair, that has the same kind of energy, you know? Yeah. And bridge the gap so that they can start booking those jobs and people can start to have more hope in, I don't have to work a 9 to 5 if I don't want to. You know, I can go ahead and be a creative director if I want to.
To capture the full interview and other upcoming episodes from Season 7 of the show, visit all Tweet4 media platforms. Up next, we have some stories across the region as well as the international scene. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break. Some claim that the age of a true gentleman is far behind us, but we disagree. He may appear in different guises today, but the values and ideals that make him a gent still stand. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman by yours truly, Ron Grant, presents Season 7. Introducing Travi Rose, Creative Director. Alex Lake, Businessman. Sean Black, Cinematographer. Dakari Wheatley Adams, Content Creator. Donandre Millwood, Educator and Musician. Hashim Dream, Entertainer. James Todman Sr., Contractor. Dr. Albert Tompkins, Psychotherapist. Walter Barrett, Author. Rakim Todman, Producer and Engineer. Kamal Letzum, Photographer. Roosevelt Smith III, Sales Manager and Hospitality Professional. Leland Abraham, IT Technician and Cybersecurity Analyst. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman Season 7, coming January 29th at 8 p.m. exclusively on 284 Media. Get ready to reason, reflect, and redefine yourself through the stories of real-life heroes. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman Season 7, Raising a Generation of Greatness. Voted Top 35 Gentleman Podcast Worldwide by FeedSpot and BI Icon Award winner. Welcome back, everyone, and thank you all so much for sticking with us. On the international scene, a large-scale search and rescue operation is underway after a devastating mid-air collision between an American airline passenger jet and a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter near Reagan National Airport on Wednesday night occurred. The crash involved American Airlines Flight 5342, operated by PSA Airlines, which was carrying 64 passengers from Kansas to Washington, D.C. The Black Hawk helicopter with 3 soldiers on board was conducting a training flight when the accident occurred. According to officials, the crash took place Flight 5342 was preparing to land at the Reagan National Airport. Video footage of the incident shows a massive fireball erupting upon impact, sending both aircraft plummeting into the Potomac River. Now, audio recordings between the Black Hawk's crew and air traffic control indicate that communications were relayed just seconds before the crash. Authorities are now working to determine the exact sequence of events leading to the disaster. Officials have confirmed multiple fatalities, though the exact number of victims has not yet been disclosed. No survivors have been found as search teams battle cold, windy, and challenging conditions on the river. Now, adding to the tragedy, it has been confirmed that several members of the figure skating community were among the passengers on Flight 5342. According to U.S. Figure Skating, the 2 world champion Russian figure skaters were on the board, and as reported by Russian state news agency TASS, American Airlines CEO Robert Inslam spoke about the incident in a video statement to the public on Thursday and issued his condolences to the families of all impacted from this tragedy.
Flight 5342 was under the command of 4 crew members and carried 60 passengers for a total of 64 people on board. We are actively working with local, state, and federal authorities on emergency response efforts, and the American Airlines care team has been activated to assist our passengers and their families. We're cooperating fully with the National Transportation Safety Board in its investigation and will continue to provide all the information we can. Our cooperation is without pause, and we want to learn everything we can about today's events. That work will take time, But anything we can do now, we're doing. And right now, that means focusing on taking care of all passengers and crew involved, as well as their families. Members of our GO team will be on their way to Washington, D.C., and I'll be heading there shortly as well. We know that many people will be concerned for the welfare of their loved ones, and we've set up a special helpline friends and family can call at 1-800-679-8215.
United States President Donald Trump addressed the crash in a subsequent press conference.
This was a dark and excruciating night in our nation's capital and in our nation's history, and a tragedy of terrible proportions. As one nation, we grieve for every precious soul that has been taken from us so suddenly. And we are a country of, really, we are in mourning. This is really shaken a lot of people, including people, very sadly, from other nations who were on the flight. For the family members back in Wichita, Kansas, here in Washington, D.C., and throughout the United States and in Russia, we have a Russia contingent, some very talented people, unfortunately, were on that plane. Very, very, very sorry about that. Whose loved ones were aboard the passenger jet. We can only begin to imagine the agony that you're all feeling. Nothing worse. On behalf of the First Lady, myself, and 340 million Americans, our hearts are shattered alongside yours, and our prayers are with you now.
On the regional scene, authorities in St. Kitts and Nevis are investigating the discovery of approximately 19 decomposed bodies found aboard a drifting vessel, fishing vessel that is, on Wednesday, with documents suggesting the victims originated from Mali in West Africa. The St. Kitts Nevis Defense Force Coast Guard intercepted the partially submerged vessel southwest of Nevis between 11 a.m. and noon on January 29th after receiving reports of an unmanned craft. They said, and I quote, "It was a fishing vessel, which is not typically found in the Caribbean." Police Commissioner James Sutton told the Associated Press. "Now we are certain," he said, "but we believe this vessel. We are not certain," he said, "but we are believing that this vessel originated off the West African coast." The vessel was towed to the Coast Guard base on St. Kitts, where it was dry docked for investigation. The crime scene unit has processed the scene and collected evidence. Sutton said officials face challenges in determining the exact number of bodies and identifying them due to the advanced state of decomposition. Police confirmed that the deaths occurred before the vessel entered St. Kitts and Nevis territorial waters. The Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force is working diligently, they say, to confirm the identities of all deceased individuals and determine the circumstances leading to the tragedy. Investigations are ongoing. Viewers, that is it for today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for your daily news updates at 284media.com, and of course follow us on our WhatsApp channel for daily updates, as well as to like us on Facebook at 284media and 284BVI on Instagram and X, formerly Twitter. I'm Ron Grant. Have a safe and enjoyable evening. A happy Thursday's wish to everyone. Goodbye.